We've grown accustomed to that sight, the Coliseum full. Do you know that over 1 million people have watched the track and field competition over the last several days at the Coliseum? And upcoming now will be the final race. The final race to be run entirely over this track, though tomorrow the marathon winner will finish right here. But the men's 5,000-meter final is at hand. One of those involved in the race is Doug Padilla, the only American to have qualified. Don Clary and Steve Lacey did not, as you look at the field. And Marty LaCour, Doug Padilla is a man who, I suppose if the pace is right and he's able to kick, and we know he can kick, can win this race.
Well, if he can hang in there, and that's the question that's in everybody's mind. These men are running their third race in 4 days. Each of the races is 3.1 miles. That's a long way to run so many heats. It's the first time in the Olympics they've had to run 3 races in this event. So you have to be a very strong runner. And Padilla, although he's one of the great 5,000-meter runners, is a kind of a runner that doesn't do a lot of distance training, but has a very good kick, and he's best in a one-race situation. So some of the older runners, more experienced runners, the runners who are maybe 5,000 and 10,000-meter runners, may have a bit of advantage because it's been, like the 1,500 and the steeplechase before it, a race of attrition over the days as it accumulated, as we see Ray Flynn of Ireland.
There were originally 15 starters. The field is now 14. Matthew Vigneault. There's a man who will definitely have to be reckoned with. Saeed Awita of Morocco. As you look at the lineup, John Walker, a familiar name. Is that the John Walker? You bet it is. 1976 Olympic 1,500-meter champion. Wilson Weigla, another familiar man. He was the 1977 NCAA champion when he attended the University of Texas at El Paso. One man who did scratch, Marty Vigneault of Finland, who the other night gave Kova a good tussle in the 10,000-meter run. This is 5,000 meters, which is 3 miles of 188 yards and 2 inches, to be precise. 12.5 laps around the Coliseum track.
And of course, the favorite's role is on Awita, because he has run the fastest time in the world, 13:04. He probably would have been the favorite in either the 1,500 meters or the 5,000, but he chose to go to the 5,000 event. He just started running this year, and he came within 4 seconds of the world record of the man starting next to him, Dave Morcroft, who's run 13 minutes and 4/10 and holds the world record. But Dave Morcroft has been injured for 2 years, and it's questionable whether he's going to have the strength for this 3-round race.
12.5 laps around the Coliseum track. Number 721, that's Ezekiel Canario of Portugal, who was the man on the inside, is able to maintain that inside spot. And Doug Padilla, who was right next to him, is there as well. And again, Awita of Morocco, if he were to win a gold medal, that would make 2 in track and field for that country. There was a national celebration, and the king called the other night when Noal El Moutwakil won the women's 400-meter hurdle.
This is very interesting, because usually in this race we see a very slow pace until the last mile. But Canario is going out and setting a quick pace. Now, one reason he might be doing that is his teammate Antonio Lateo is the 4th fastest man of all time. But he will probably need a fast pace to tire out Awita and people like Padilla. So maybe there are some team tactics. Canario not quite as celebrated as a 5,000-meter runner. We may see a runner from one country going out to help his teammate, much as Ben Gipcho did to help out his teammate Kip Keino in his great defeat of Jim Ryan in 1968.
Ezekiel Canario on top.
He must be doing that. He ran 62 seconds and a half for the first lap. No one would do that if they hope to win the race. So he must be doing this to help his teammate.
Antonio Lateo of Portugal is in 2nd place. And that's Saoud Awita of Morocco. Has the fastest time for the year, the 2nd fastest ever. He in the green and red, number 622 in 3rd place.
Well, if we see this pace hold up even for another 2 or 3 laps, we may see the Olympic record go, which is only 13:20, and that wasn't run in a final. It was one run in one of the heats. The finals have all been slower than 13:20 because of the tactics involved. So it's obviously the 2 Portuguese who are going to go out and use some team tactics. They have some great distance runners right now.
In 4th position, Eamon Martin. And the only American again in this race, number 930, Doug Padilla, who likes to come from behind, and there he is with John Walker just behind him in the all black.
And I know Walker, and I know he is cursing in the back of his head. He moved up from the 1,500 meters to the 5,000, knowing that they're tactical races, hoping he could hold in there, that there'd be a slow pace, and he could get to use his great miler speed. And I know he is just cursing his head off right now, because this is his nightmare.
He's 13th in this 14-man field with less than 10 laps to go in the men's 5,000 meters. Doug Padilla won the Olympic trials. Most people figuring Awita would win this, and Padilla would have an outside chance at a medal. World record is 13 minutes and 41 100ths of a second. Morcroft doing it in 1982. 2:37.73 the last split, Marty.
Yes, but the important thing here is that Mateo has now taken the lead over from his teammates, so maybe they're going to share 2 laps apiece. Also, just off their screen, there he is in the back of the screen. Dave Morcroft, the world record holder, seems to have some problems here. He had a shot in his hip or his pelvis after the rounds with some pain, so he may not be a factor. So that's one of the big guys who is having a problem. As Mateo leads from Sad Awita, and here come the 2 Kenyans. Maybe they're going to use some team tactics also.
The splits are given, by the way, in 1,000-meter increments, a little bit different than the normal lap increments. So 2:37.73, which we reported a moment ago, was the split at 1,000 meters. So about 8.5 laps remaining in the men's 5,000-meter final, and we'll be right back. 5 laps remaining now in the men's 5,000-meter final. About 3¼ miles overall. A race of that length, and the pack is still tightly bunched. Number 722, Mateo, is the leader, but the man really to watch, Saeed Awita of Morocco, who is in second place and appears to be just perfectly positioned, position-wise and time-wise at this point, Marty.
Well, he certainly is in happy spirits on this. The pace has been quick enough for the race to follow form, and if it follows form, Awita is the fastest man in the field because Dave Morcroft, the world record holder, has dropped way off of the pace. The 2 Portuguese are going out and setting a very good pace. They were ahead of world record pace for the first mile. They backed off of it a little bit and have been switching the lead in the second mile to where they are now again 6 seconds under world record pace in the Olympic Games after 2 rounds.
There is Awita in second position. And when they come across the line, there will be 4 laps remaining. Charles Chiruyat of Kenya is running third. So 4 laps, 1,600 meters to go. Tim Hutchings of Great Britain is in 4th place.
I overstated the case, Al. They are 4 seconds ahead of Olympic record pace. They are 4 seconds below world record pace. But Awita will almost assuredly be able to finish faster than Morcroft did in his world record, so it could be a world record, and I can only guess on the medals. The Africans running
Padilla.
Very well. There goes the American Padilla. He's running a fantastic race, much faster than he's ever run before. John Walker not out of it yet, although he's struggling, but in this race, it's long enough to have a bad patch, and if you can maintain contact and still be there when the sprint happens, some of the milers could pull some surprises.
That group of 8 has now broken away from the other 6 runners. As you look at Padilla, a man who loves to kick, there comes Walker now up on the outside. And still it's Awita stalking and running perfectly with 3 laps to go. He's in second position. 3 laps to go in the men's 5,000 meters. And Tim Hutchings is right there as well from Great Britain.
And now our shot shows since the last time we talked that Walker is having a hard time just dropping off the pace. It's now very dangerous for him. He could be definitely out of the medals in the next 30 seconds. He'll know what his fate is, but the medals are up for grabs. Yes, Walker looking back now. He knows the gold is gone, the silver and the bronze.
Paul Kipkoech and Marcus Ripple are the others who are running up in that lead group. A group of 6 now beginning to break away. And Padilla is back of Walker. So if Padilla is going to win this one, he's going to really have to come from behind. He likes to come from behind, but he may be falling too far back. It's Mateo, and now it's Awita beginning to move up on the outside, but Awita just pretty much biding his time. Ripple beginning to move as well. Number 795 currently in 4th place. And a little bit more now than 2 laps to go. And what's turning out to be a 6-man race. Everybody else is scattered out.
And I am just amazed at 722, Ezekiel Canario, from out of a stable of great distance runners. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but he is the 4th best man that Portugal has in this race. He went out as if he was setting the pace, but he's burnt off his teammate Mateo, and now he's trying to get rid of Awita. And Marcus Reifel of Switzerland, who has been very inconsistent over the years, is right in the fight.
It's become a group of 5. As with a lap and a half to go, Mateo of Portugal, the man on top. You've got Awita in 2nd place.
And they just burned a fast 400 meters, 61.5. If they continue this build-up to the end, it's going to be an awesome race. 13 minutes and 4/10, the world record, but also one of the most respected records in track and field, and they're coming close to that.
So it's Mateo and Riffel of Switzerland and Awita. Those 3 breaking away now. Now let's watch Awita to see if he makes that move. Number 722, Antonio Mateo of Portugal, trying to maintain his position, but up on the outside, Saeed Awita of Morocco. But look at Mateo going right with him. And it's Marcus Riffel not giving up. He looks like he's got something left, the Swiss runner. But look at Awita now, running very strongly. Less than a half lap to go. The world record reflected there, 13 minutes and 41 100ths. And it is Saeed Awita, 2nd in the World Championships at 1,500, blowing kisses to the crowd as he begins to pull away on his way to the gold medal. Saeed Awita of Morocco, the 2nd track and field gold medal for Morocco. Awita winning it. Marcus Riffel lines up in 2nd place, and Antonio Mateo of Portugal, who was right up there with the leaders all the way, finishes 3rd, with Tim Hutchings of Great Britain 4th. The other night, Noel El-Moutwakil, who goes to Iowa State and is a Moroccan native, and that was the scene the other night when the Moroccan flag appeared and El-Moutwakil took her victory lap with it. Well, Awita will be able to repeat the process. Doug Padilla finishing well back in the pack. It looked like he was pretty well positioned, but Padilla fell too far back with about 3 laps to go and became no factor at that point. 13:05.60 is the 3rd fastest 5,000-meter run ever.
You have to put it in perspective of the pressure of the Olympic Games and the 3rd race in 4 days. He finished with a 1:53 last half mile, 55 for the last half. My friend Dave Morcroft, I have to say to him, he has just seen the greatest 5,000 meters ever run.
So another victory lap for the flag of Morocco, being carried by Saeed Awita, the gold medalist at 5,000.